Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here, and today we're back with a very highly requested video, arm knitting. Arm knitting is a very simple, easy, repetitive thing you can do to make the giant chunky blankets. Now, I do have a few tips and tricks that I will share with you in this video, so pay close attention. First things first, you're going to want to make sure you go to the bathroom, you get snacks, you get whatever you need in a spot, because you're going to be probably sitting here for about an hour. Now, is this video going to take an hour? No. We're not going to sit through the whole thing together. I'm just going to show you how to get started, and then we'll come back at the end and I'll show you how to finish it, and ta-da, you will have a blanket by the end of this video. If you're following along with me. If you're just watching, then, just watch. Either way. Once you have your snacks, you've gone to the bathroom, you've checked on your children, you've made sure your dog is okay, the cat's not chasing everybody in the house. Next thing you're going to need is something to hold your yarn. If something were to happen where you would need to stop, in case you need to stop and you don't want to drag all that yarn with you, you're going to need something to put the yarn on, because you'll have loops all over your arm. So you'll need something to put those loops on so that you don't lose your space. What I have is a giant knitting needle. Yes, this is a real giant knitting needle. I have two of them, but I'm only using one today. I use this for making chunkier projects whenever I'm knitting. But this is what I'm going to use in case I need to get up. Now, of course, everybody's not going to have a giant knitting needle just laying around their house. These are the things you find in my house for some reason. You can use whatever you need to use. Just make sure you put it on something so that it doesn't unravel your loops, because it will if you take it off your arm and just leave it. So again, this project's probably going to take you about 45 minutes to an hour. So, and because it's chunkier yarn, that's why it won't take so long. So once you have your thing to keep the loops on, we're going to get started. Okay. Now this yarn is the yarn I would highly recommend. It is a t-shirt yarn. There is cotton in the middle of it. I put a knot in it because it didn't come with a knot in it. And I didn't want any of that to come out. And of course, you can pull that out. You can sew that shut if you want to. You can cut it off. You can do whatever you want with that part. That doesn't matter. But if you have small children that like to, pull at things, getting something to cover that up might be, recommended. What I would suggest staying away from: roving yarn, roving merino yarn. Yarn that looks nice. I know it looks nice and plushy and soft, and you just, oh my, no, don't do it. I'm just going to warn you now. If you get merino yarn, it is going to shed like nobody's business. It does come apart easily, which means it tears whenever you're working with it. And it will, over time, develop like little balls of stuff all over it. Would not recommend that yarn. What I would recommend is yarn like this. It's a t-shirt yarn. Like I said, it's still going to give you that coverage that you want. It's not going to be all fuzzy and furry like the roving yarn, but it will do the job, I promise. If you're brave enough to try the roving yarn, have at it. I'm just not a fan because it sheds a lot. And when I was working with it, the first time I ever tried doing a project like this, literally when I was done, I had fuzz all over me, and the yarn was shedding, and I had to tie it together in a few places. It was a whole hot mess. So I recommend this yarn. Now, I will link this yarn down in the description box of this video. Do keep in mind, this yarn is going to be a little expensive because of the fact that it is a chunkier yarn, and it is specifically for arm knitting. I also want to let you know that I am an Amazon influencer, and this did come from Amazon. So the link that I provide will be an influencer link, and I will make a small commission if you use it. So I thank you in advance if you do choose to use it. This method can be used with pretty much any yarn that you want, but we're going to use this really nice thick arm knitting yarn. So to get started, we have our yarn, and we're going to measure out a tail for our yarn. So the tail, essentially what it does is it makes the loops. So first things first, we're going to measure it out. And how I measure mine for arm knitting is I just do an arm's length like this. If I put my arm straight out, that's how wide my arms go. So that's how wide I want the thing to go. So we're just going to pull it from the beginning here. 1. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to measure our yarn. So you're going to grab the end of the yarn and just pull an arm's length. 1, 2. Now we're going to do this 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. okay? And we're just gonna rest this yarn over here, off to the side, and we're at number 8, okay? So what we're gonna do is now make a slip knot. Slip knot is how you start this project. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your yarn and just make a little loop. You're not connected it or anything, it's just making a loop. So you got your tail, which is the ball of yarn this way, and then you have your working yarn, which is the big ball of yarn over that way, okay? So what you're gonna do is your tail end, which is this end here, is gonna be underneath. So when you go to roll it, because you got it like this, you're just gonna roll. See what I did? Roll. This part isn't connected at all. I just made a loop, and we're gonna roll it, okay? Once you get here, put your hand through, and you've still got those 2 pieces of yarn. This is your working yarn, this is your tail. That's that yarn. You're gonna pull that yarn through that hole. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna, when you have it like this and you roll it, you put your hand through and you pull it through, okay? And you can tighten it with the tail end. Now when you do that, you're gonna wanna put your hand back through because this is why it's called arm knitting. So you have your tail end on this side, which is the side that's furthest away from you. And then you have your working yarn, which is the side closest to you, okay? So with that said, I'm gonna make sure I pull enough yarn here. With that said, now what we're gonna do is we're going to pull up our loops. We're gonna get somewhere between 16 to 18 loops. Just because you want this to be a blanket. So you want to get around 16 to 18 loops. So we're going to see how many we can get with this. So we have it on our arm. You can tighten it up if you need to, because all you're going to do essentially is push it up your arm, which is why you see me today with no Zox bracelets on. I have only 2 rings on. So this is very, like, especially if you're using yarn that sheds or has like some kind of consistency of like regular yarn, you don't want it like catching on rings and stuff. So having your arms free and clear is going to be key here. Anyways, now that you have your slip knot, okay, what you're going to do, and again, your working yarn is closest to you, your tail is furthest away from you. You're going to take your 2 fingers, pinch them closed. So when you got your little pinchers there, you're going to put that in between these 2, okay? So you're just going to hold it, put your fingers in. Once you put your fingers in, you're going to open your fingers real wide, okay? And then you just flip your arm up. See what I did there? Let's try it again. You're going to put your pinchers in between the 2 yarn. You're holding it with your other hand. And again, your tail end is on the side of furthest away. Your working yarn is this way, okay? So you're going to put your fingers through, open them real wide, and just flip your hand up. So you should have something that looks like this. This is how we're going to make our loops, okay? And if you're a knitter, you know exactly how to work this. This is us casting on. This is called casting on when you're knitting. Same thing applies when you're using regular needles. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go up through this one and grab that one, okay? So remember, it's on your arm. Pinch, go in, widen, flip up. And then your next step is going to be to take your finger, go up through that hole. Now, there's a little loop right there on your thumb. You see that? You're going to go in between there, okay? So you're going to go up in between. See how that came up in between? Up in between. You're going to grab that one and pull it through. Boom. But you want to make sure, the trick to this is keep this yarn away from you, the tail end. Keep it away from you. Keep the working yarn closer to you, okay? So we're going to tighten that up a little bit, and we're going to do that again. We're going to pinch, put in, widen, flip. And you're going to keep doing this until you have the amount you want. So again, you're going to go up, snatch that one, bring it through, boom. You're going to tighten it. And as you can see, we already have 3 loops, okay? Again, keep that tail away from you. No tail. So we're going to grab them again, pinch, fingers through, widen, flip up. Once you flip up, go up under, go over and snatch that one up. And as you see, when I pull it up, I'm also twisting it so that the tail stays away from me. Okay? You're going to pull that there, tighten it up a little bit. And don't worry, because these are slip knots, they will loosen up. So don't worry about it being too tight. You're going to essentially just pull them up your arm. So we're going to tighten that a little bit. And you're just going to widen it down here if you want to tighten that up on your arm a little bit. And we're going to keep doing that until we have the desired number of loops on our arm. Again, this is just like knitting. You're just using your arms. So if you're a knitter, you know how to do this. So again, we're going to grab hold of these two. The tail's furthest away from me. The working yarn's closest to me. We're going to make this little hole here. And all I'm doing is holding it with my hand. And I take my one finger and I just kind of like put it in there so I know to put my hand in. So then we're going to pinch. Fingers through. See what I did there? All I did was put my fingers through. The other three fingers over here chilling. Boom. Widen. Flip it up. Once you flip it up, go up under this one to grab this one. So there's only one on this finger over here. And then there's two on this finger. So you're not even going to worry about this one. This one just hangs off to the side. This is what you want. You want to go up under there, grab that, pull it through, and then you're going to twist it so that tail stays away from you. And don't worry, if you don't get this right away, don't give up on it. I'm telling you, this is super easy. Just take your time, watch what I'm doing, and you can pause, stop, rewind if you need to. You do whatever you need to do to make sure you get this, okay? It's not hard, sweetie. You got this. So what we're going to do again, we're going to grab it, pinch, widen, flip. And you see how it kind of looks braided here now? That's what you're looking for. Now, again, you're going to go up under this one, grab this one. So just so you can see, up under. This is your tail. This is your working yarn. Going to go up under, grab it, pull it through, and then when I pull it through, see when you pull it through, you can see that tail end is closest to you. You don't want that, so you're just going to twist it so that it's away from you again, okay? Put your arm in, pull it through, pull that one to tighten the loop at the bottom, pull this one to tighten the loop on your hand. Boom. See how easy that is? You got this. So again, we're going to grab it, make sure our tail's away from us, our working end is closest to us. Grab it, pinch, insert, widen, flip. Pull through, twist, put on your arm. Pull to tighten the loop at the bottom, pull to tighten the loop up top. You can pull them together if you need to like that. So right now we have 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop, 5 loop, 6, 7. We have 7. So we want at least 7 more. And see, as I go up, I'm just going to adjust it and go up my arm. Yes, it may be a little tight depending on how tightly you have them on your arm. You don't want them super loose, but you don't want it super tight where it's cutting off your circulation. Your hand shouldn't be blue by the time you get to the one desired loops you want. So we're going to keep going. And again, if you need to hear the instructions, just rewind, go back to the beginning, listen to it again. You can watch this as many times as you want to. It's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You got this. So we're going to speed it up a little bit here. I'm not going to go into a time lapse. I'm just going to do it in normal time. So you can see, again, my tail, my working yarn. So you can just see how simple this process is and how fast you can go once you know what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to do about 6 more. One, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to bunch up a little bit. Don't worry about that. It'll loosen up when you get to your next row. So it's just kind of gathering here at my wrist. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went with 18, I think. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 18 loops on my arm right now. And I still have plenty of tail. So if I want to go longer, I can. So I'm going to try to get that tail down because I don't want such a long tail, right? And I don't want to waste the yarn because it was expensive. So we're going to keep going. So I'm just going to shimmy this up my arm a little bit here. This is why they call it arm knitting. And I like mine to be a little bit tighter, so that's why it's so tight. So there we go. So let's do a couple more. 19, 20. 21. 22. Again, if you need the instructions again, we'll do it slow one more time. So we're going to go in, widen, flip, go up under, grab, pull through, and twist. Okay? Let's try that one more time. We're going to go in, widen, flip, go up under, grab, and twist. Boom. There you go. And we got our tail a little bit smaller, and that's the size that I want for mine. I don't mind the tail being that small. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I have 24 loops on my arm. However many loops you want on your arm is your business, okay? If you want to do 15, 12, if you're just doing a lap blanket, you can do like, I want to say like 14 to 16 for a lap blanket. I'm doing 24, so it's going to be a pretty decent size. So that is the hard part. Here comes the easy part, okay? So your tail, you no longer need that. We're just going to throw that off to the side. This is the part that you're going to be working with now. You're working in the part that's coming from the big ball of yarn. And my big ball of yarn is right here. I have it sitting next to me on the couch. And all you're going to do for row 2 is you're going to grab it, pull it off your arm, put your arm through, and tighten it. That's it. Grab it, make a loop, boom. Don't worry, I'm going to keep doing it. So you got you're essentially in handcuffs at this point. If it doesn't look like you're in handcuffs, you're doing it wrong. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that working yarn, you're going to grab it. You're going to take your other hand, pull the loop that's at the front off your hand and pull that working yarn through it to make a loop. And you put that on your arm. That's it. Like, I don't know if I can make it any more simple than that. You grab it, pull the loop off, put that working yarn through, put it on your hand, boom. So grab it, pull the yarn off. Once you pull the yarn off, this is what you're going to get. So you got your loop, your working yarn is going up in it, and then you put your hand inside the working yarn. Now don't put your hand back in here because you'll drop a stitch. So you're putting it through the working yarn right here. Boom. So you grab it, pull it off, pull it up, and your hand is going in the working yarn. Okay? So you're going to grab it, working yarn, loop, pull the loop off, pull the working yarn through, put your hand in it. Boom. Grab it, yarn off your hand, loop goes, or the working yarn goes up, and then it goes on your arm. And we're going to tighten it. And that's all this part is. That's all the next however many rows you need is. Literally is just doing this. We're going to bring up some of the yarn that I have unraveled already. So we're going to grab it, the next loop, pull it up, grab it, grab the working yarn, pull the loop off your hand, pull it up, put it on your arm. And we're going to push these back so I can actually get it all on my arm. Working yarn, loop off, loop up, put your hand through. Do it again. And essentially, you just keep repeating this. Literally, you keep repeating this till you get to the end of your row. So I'm just going to get to the end of my row here. We're going to push that down. And then we're going to push these up. You can just take your finger and kind of maneuver them up. And again, I like mine to be a little bit tighter, so I'm making sure that I do it a little bit tighter. So working yarn, pull the loop off, pull the loop up, put it on your arm. If you want to tighten it, you can just pull that working yarn and it'll tighten that loop. So grab it, loop off, pull the working yarn up, put it on your arm, tighten it. And you're just going to do that until we get to the end. So let's get to the end. So essentially all you're doing is moving your yarn from one arm to the next. And then on your last one, you do the same thing. You just pull it off. And as you can see, this is the start of your blanket. So, that is round one, or round two, I'm sorry. Round one was casting on. So essentially, you just keep doing that. So for your next one, grab the working yarn, grab that first one, pull it through, put it on. Make sure not to twist it. So let's do that one more time. I gotta grab my loop before I lose it. There it is. So what you're gonna do, pull that up. Okay. You're gonna have it in that other hand. Whatever arm is holding the yarn at that time is what arm is going to be holding the working yarn. So I'm gonna unravel some more over here. So that's what our hand you're holding the working yarn in. And since you're holding it, you're just going to pull it off that loop. Now don't twist your loop now. Once you have it looped up, just put it on your arm. Grab it, loop off, loop up on your other arm. And you just keep repeating this process. Literally, that's all you're doing. So you're just pulling it up, grab the working yarn, grab the next loop, pull it off your hand, pull the loop up. Working yarn, grab the next loop, pull it up on your hand. And you're just going to keep doing that. And this is all arm knitting is. It's not super hard. It doesn't take forever. You can make a blanket in about 45 minutes once you get the hang of it. because you can move a little bit faster once you get the hang of it. So we're going to bring this up a little bit here. So we're going to grab that working yarn, grab the next loop, pull it up, put it on the arm. Working yarn, pull, pull, over. Essentially, you're just switching it back and forth. Trying to make sure I stay in camera so you can see what I'm doing. I got the working yarn over here. Pull it up. And then the last one, we're going to pull up. Boom. So that essentially is how you do this. And I'm just going to pull it down so you can see that it's making the stitches here. Now, like I said, this is 8 pounds worth of yarn. So I'm not going to sit through all 8 pounds with you. I'm going to stop it here. You feel free to stop it here, pause it here, because for you, it's going to be a blank. For me, it's going to be until I get to the end of this blanket. So take a minute here if you need to go back and listen to something I said or rewatch something or slow it down. On your computer screen, actually, if you're looking at a computer or even on your phone, there's going to be a little gear, I believe, in this corner of the screen, like right here. Right there. There's a little gear. So if you tap on your screen, there's a little gear. Looks kind of like this, but gray. Right down there. If you tap that, it'll ask you the speed, and you can slow me down, or you can speed me up. Not that I need to be speeded up. But you can speed it up or slow down the video so you can watch it in slow motion, or you can watch it going faster. You do what you have to do. So I showed you how to start it and how to go back and forth. And you're just going to continue going back and forth on your arms until you get the length or the desired size that you want. For me, it's going to be until I get through this whole 8 pounds of yarn, which again, I'm not going to make you sit through. So I will, like I said, it'll be a blank for you, the screen will flash, and then I'll be back by the end of my blanket and I'll show you what I got. So pause the video here, do what you got to do. And when I come back, we'll show you how to finish and cast off your blanket. Also, real quick, I forgot to mention, if something happens where I need to take a break, all you're going to do is essentially put whatever you're using to hold your spot. You're going to put that underneath in all your loops, and then you can just slide it off your arm onto whatever you're using, and then take a break and come back, and you just slide it back onto your arm the same way. I wanted to make sure I said that before I go any further. So, again, take a minute, pause the video, do what you got to do. Once I get to the end of this, I will come back and show you how to cast off. So now that you got to this point, we're about to end our blanket. So as you can see, I'm going to show you my tail end. I have quite a bit of tail left. I could probably do another row, but I would be short on the ending stitches. So I am going to stop here. I think I've done about 30 rows, okay? So how are we going to bind this off? Like, how do I get this off my arm? It's squeezing the life out of me. Let me show you how. First thing you're going to do, you're going to do 2 stitches like you normally would. So you're just going to grab it, pull the yarn through, put it on your arm. Grab the yarn, pull it through, put it on your arm. Now, this is how we bind off. Again, if you're a knitter, you know how to do this. If you're not a knitter, just follow along. Once you get 2 loops on your arm, you're going to take that first loop and you're going to bring it and leapfrog it over this loop, okay? So you're going to pick it up, pull it over, and drop it, okay? We don't need that anymore. So we're going to keep going. We're going to pull up a loop on the working arm, put it on our hand here, and we're going to take this loop now and bring it over that one. And we're going to keep doing that. So we're going to pull up a loop, take that back one, pull it off your hand. Pull up another loop, put it on there, pull that back one up over. And you're just going to keep doing that. Now, if it's bunched up on your arm, don't forget to make sure you're looking out to make sure that you're not getting the wrong stitches, okay? So again, grab the working yarn or the tail end. You're going to pull it through like you're making a regular loop. Put it on your hand. Oops, sorry, I'm knocking you over. Bring that back one over and off. Over, off. Make another loop. Oh, that back one, over, off. Over, off. And we're just going to keep doing that until all the loops are gone. Or until you have one loop on your hand, I should say. Oop. All right, there we go. So we're just going to keep going. On, over and off. Loop it up. On, over and off. Try to move that tail out of the way. I'm going to go make a loop. Put it on your hand. Take that back one, over and off. Pull up a loop. Pull off a loop. Pull up a loop. Pull off a loop. And again, you just keep doing this. You just want to make sure you have 2 loops on your hand. I'm going to bring this off here. We're going to go for this one next. Up, off, up, off, up, off, up, off, up, off. Last one, up and off. Now, when you do this one, we're now going to create a knot because this is the last loop. So we're going to pull it up like we're making another loop. Take that tail, put it through that loop, and that should give you a nice secure knot for the end. Okay? And you can cut this tail off or you can weave it in. But now I'm going to take you into the room. I'm going to show you how I stretch this out. I'm going to get the kids' help to stretch it out because it's going to be massive. And we'll finish up the video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stretch the blanket. So Maggie, find an end. Find the bottom of the blanket. There you go. That's the end. So what we're going to do is stretch it. So Maggie, go all the way up that way. We're going to pull the stitches nice and tight. So go ahead and grab it and pull. Oh, hold on.
What happened?
It goes this way.
Oh.
So pull the bottom and pull. No, don't come near me. Pull. There you go. We're going to pull all the stitches nice and tight. Pull. Use your Blue Bear strength. Alright. So all I'm doing now is tightening the loops. So when you tighten them, they will straighten out for your blanket. So there you have it. Watch out, Magpie. There is our giant 8-pound blanket. Now again, if you want, you can pull this string off. You can cut it, weave it in, do whatever. Sorry, I'm getting fuzzies. But yeah, you're going to take the corners that you started. You're going to stretch that out. Maggie, pull that. No, come back. No, grab hold of that. Yep. And pull. Pull towards you. No, pull towards you. Alright. Put that up there like that.
Just like a blanket.
Yep.
To sleep. And that's why you're fed to me.
We're just going to pull all these stitches to make sure they're nice and tight. And that is the ending of your blanket. When you're done, it should look like this. Now, a lot of people do use the fuzzy yarn so you don't see all the holes. But it really doesn't matter because when you're stretching it and pulling it, you won't really see them too much anyways. But, alright, so there you have it. There is your arm knit blanket. It turned out awesome. I love it. So if you would like to make your own, again, you can use any type of yarn you want to use. Just because I say don't use the roving yarn, if you're froggy, go ahead and use it. But that's it for me today, folks. Sorry about that. But that is how you make an arm knitted blanket. I think it turned out fabulous. Let's see if we can roll up Maggie in this blanket. So we're making a little Maggie burrito here. You're like a little baby. So there you have it, guys. Again, you can use any kind of yarn that you would like to use to make this. I will be doing another video on how to make a crocheted chunky blanket like this. But the arm knitted blanket was highly requested. So there you go. There you have it. I gave you the tools. Go out and prosper. But with that said, folks, I got to get out of here. We're going to get Maggie out of this real quick. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. But with that said, folks, we now must bid you adieu. But not before reminding you.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. 6 feet.
And always try.
Be kind. Be cool. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.